Okay, just a little after 7:30, so we'll call the session to order. Our first part of the meeting will be the annual general meeting, and then after that, we will go to our regular monthly meeting with a presentation from Mark Zalcik and a few other things going on. Anyway, so without further ado, we will start. Number one item is the meeting minutes from January 13th, 2025, which are AGM. Those minutes are available in the members area on the website. And we need, I was probably the only one that read them. So we'll just basically call for someone to make a motion to accept.
I'll move.
Jeff Robertson, seconder. Murray Paulson, thank you. If there's any questions anybody wants to do, let me know now. No, okay. All in favor of accepting the January 2025 AGM minutes, please say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, next we'll have the annual report from Jeff Whiten on our finances, I hope. There we go. Okay, just have to wait until Frank chooses it up. Sure.
Okay. So we've come to the end of another year. So this is the opportunity. We like to take an opportunity once a year to pause and maybe look backwards a little bit and talk about some of the highlights from our past years. So today I'm just going to take you through really a high-level summary from a financial standpoint of sort of the key aspects of our past year. Are you advancing these, Frank, or am I? So the first slide here, this is our current financial position as of the end of December. So our casino account is just over $66,000. Our general account has just over $80,000. Of interest, the general account actually last year this time was at $74,000. So our general account actually grew year over year, which is interesting. And I think it's something that offline we've talked about several times. It's kind of an indication that from a general expenditure standpoint anyways, we're fairly self-sustaining. So the money that's coming into that account is offsetting any monies that we're spending out of the general account. On the other hand, we use our casino account as our primary source of sort of program investment and capital investment in sort of expanding the programs that we deliver. So it's the casino accounts, as I said, just over 66,000 now. Just for a point of reference, it was at 121,000, almost $122,000 last year. So we've drawn down on the casino account quite significantly this year. All for really good things, and I'm going to point out some of those things as we go along here. Any questions on our current position? So this is a bit of an eye chart. This is the only piece of the financial statement that I've included today. This is something some of you that have a financial background will be familiar with this, I suspect. This is what we call a cash flow, a statement of cash flows. And the only reason I put it up here is that we use a process of financial accounting called cash accounting. So we don't use sort of accrual asset accounting. We basically account for cash in and cash out. And what this particular statement is indicating is that there was $49,679 more dollars that went out of our accounts this year than came into our accounts. And that's why you can see the total of 146,163 matches what our current position is. Sort of. There's about $2,000 in there that are liabilities that we account for in the cash flow assessment. From a revenue standpoint, this was a rather normal year, let's call it. So we took in about $18,000, and we took that money in primarily through membership dues and partial recovery of our costs from the Northern Prairie Star Party. So this is a non-casino year. So we, as many of you know, we run a casino every 18 months or so. The next casino, I'm sure Luca is twisting everybody's arm right now, but the next casino is in June. Very important fundraising opportunity for us at the center. Last year, just to show you the difference, last year we took in almost $102,000 in revenue. So the casino is worth roughly $80,000 a year to us. And that, if you just do the math, you can see where that difference is year over year. So this is the crux of the matter. So these are by account where we spent our money in the past year. I'm not going to take you through every line item, but I will draw your attention to a few as before we wrap up here. The bottom line is we spent roughly $66,000 last year, which is just about double what we spent the year before. And you'll see why in a second on some of the key things that we increased our expenditures on. But about $66,000 in 2024, we spent about $40,000. And just get my notes here. So I just want to hit on a couple of things. The difference in total expenses is about $25,850, give or take. The difference in revenues is about $83,000, which is roughly what our casino is going to bring in this year. Well, let me draw a couple of points out. So I'm going to go down these columns here if you want to follow along. So the BNLO expenses, if you add those two line items together, the 8151 and the 2547. So we've got the BNLO, the Black Nugget Lake Observatory expense account came out to about 21,858. Not comparable to last year for a couple of reasons. Last year, actually, we spent somewhere in the area of $6,800 on BNLO expenses. In that number, though, we've included all of the recent PlaneWave expenses. So because we had the financial means in this past year, Kent and his team kicked off some of the activities of beginning to build out on the PlaneWave project. And we spent a little over $22,000 on some of the literally foundational items of the PlaneWave project. So screw piles are in, a foundation is poured, some engineering costs were accrued into that number. And we also bought the Apogee camera. So we've actually expended about $22,000 on the PlaneWave. The other thing we did at BNLO this year, to maybe just highlight, is Luca and his crew have ensured that have brought internet to the site. So we expended about $1,400 on putting in the infrastructure for internet. That project is roughly halfway done, I think. This year, Luca and the team will also be adding a weather station to the property, an all-sky camera to the property, a number of other things that will sort of bring that whole BNLO facility up to a really professional spec. Any questions on that? Oh, and one other point. The other thing that was expended out at BNLO last year was final commissioning activities for the observatory. So some of you that have been out there recently will now know that dome automation is now in place. There were a number of sort of smaller commissioning things that Roman took on this year to try and get up and operating for us. So there was another, roughly $2,500 or so that was spent on those activities. Moving down, you'll see a loan equipment program related expense of $1,227. That's the refurbishment of the BAMT. So that's the Barry Arnold Memorial Telescope. So Barton, Satchwell, and I think Alistair was giving him some help, have refurbished that, including recoating the mirror and doing a number of things to bring that scope back up to its glory. And it'll be available for galaxy season out at Black Nugget Lake as well for first light. Going up to the top of the second column there, the membership committee, a fairly large expenditure from a comparison standpoint. Usually we spend a couple of $100s from a membership standpoint year over year. Last year, though, they replenished our inventory of membership pins. And that's, we make that expense every few years. It's not something we see very often, but that's why you're seeing a little higher expense in the membership committee. The Northern Prairie Star Party expenses, you're going to see a couple up there. So there's the non-casino one at $63.59, and then if you go farther down, there's another one of $33.61, and then we've got some speaker expenses at the bottom for $1,900. So Northern Prairie last year cost us a total of about $11,600 versus the previous year, which was about 10 grand, give or take. That increase in cost is almost entirely related to the growth of the event. The growth, I think it was a record event this year. Hey? It was a fantastic success. Now, what's interesting is that revenues from that event, so this money that we recover for campsites and from membership fees and t-shirt sales and that kind of thing, was also up about $2,000. So really that increased cost was a wash for the club or for the center. JDSF, that's usually a very stable number. So last year we had an expense of about $4,700. In the previous year, though, our expense was quite a bit lower. It was about $1,700. And that was as a result of the fires in Jasper. So we did an abridged version of the Jasper Dark Sky Festival in the previous year in 2024. We got back to business this year and held a really successful full Jasper Dark Sky Festival. And that's it. I think that's all the major expenses anyways that were sort of highlights for me. So a really great year. I mean, a couple of other things that maybe didn't make the list because they weren't hugely huge cost centers were the Milky Way days out at Beaver Hills. Was by all accounts anyways one of the most successful events we've had out there. We had thousands of people in the park that day. We had a great night. We had a whole bunch of members out to support that. So that was another, really successful event. And I think we had a really successful season with Black Nugget Lake as well, and a number of offerings for our first full year of operation of that. So I think a lot of the investments that the center has made over the last couple of years are really starting to pay dividends in terms of supporting our mission. That's it. Any questions? Did I miss anything? Okay.
You need to make a motion.
These guys, once they get there.
Thanks, Jeff. Okay, following Jeff's report, we'll have the auditors do their report. So if we can get them to come up, that would be much appreciated.
Thanks very much, Clayton. Okay, so this is to the overall membership of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, Edmonton Centre. There were two auditors this year, as we have in previous years. We've reviewed the financial statements for accuracy and completeness, along with random audit sampling of items within the financial statements. It is our opinion that these financial statements fairly represent the financial performance of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, Edmonton Centre for the fiscal year of 2025. And it's signed myself, David Fielder, and my co-auditor, Brian Alford.
Want to make a motion that we accept that?
Yes, could we have a motion from the group here to accept the financial statements as shown by Jeff Whiten this evening? Okay, we have Ken Martins. Do we have a seconder?
We got Alex Turner.
Alex Turner, perfect. Thank you very much. Thanks, Clayton.
You're welcome. Thanks again. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Thank you for auditors for doing your job. Okay, now here we get a chance to appoint the auditors for 2026. Would the two auditors for 2025 want to do it again? Yeah, 1, 2. Looks like they will be doing our 2026 audit. We like that because we get a little consistency in our auditing. Okay, anybody, do we have to make a motion to accept them? No? Okay. Sounds great. Okay, just to, this is a reminder of the spending limits that we have within the Edmonton Center. So council members, they can spend up to or less than or up to $150. Council itself can approve expenditures less than $1,500, and anything above that has to go to membership for approval. So that hasn't changed. I think we will be looking at it from a council perspective over the course of the year, and that might change, it might not. We're not sure yet. And the last item on the AGM is President's Awards were presented at the February meeting as the committee didn't get together enough to be able to fill out all the potential winners in the different categories. So we're going to do that this month, and it will be awarded at the meeting in February. Okay, so that basically covers the AGM for this year. It's not an election year, which means that we do not have elections. However, we do have a couple of important positions on council that we would like to fill sooner rather than later this year. The first one, of course, being vice president. We have not had a vice president all year. I'm please asking people if they're interested in doing that, please contact me directly. You can send me an email at president@edmontonrasc.com. Might be much appreciated. The other one is James McNeese has stepped down as our telescope loaner program coordinator. And we are looking at someone to take on that position. And James said that he will assist in getting that person up to speed ASAP. So we're looking for someone to help out on the loaner program. Basically, people will contact you about loaning out one of our telescopes. You meet them at the locker, you do the paperwork, give them the telescope, show them how to use it, and then they take it out for their period of time. I believe it's 30 days, and then they contact you to bring it back. And so that means a few trips over to the storage locker. So those are the two big positions that we're looking at filling this coming year. So if anybody's interested, please give me a shout. Okay, I think we can now go to the regular meeting. Oh, well, we have to adjourn the AGM. Can I get a motion to adjourn the AGM? Murray Paulson, seconded by Frank Florian. All in favor? Okay, AGM is officially closed for this year. Okay, now we come back to the main agenda for this tonight and for January. First item is to get the meeting minutes from December approved. Again, these are all on the members area of our website. So we'll need a motion to accept those minutes. Oh, Jeff Whiten. What's that?
Where are we doing the major spending motions?
It'll be in here.
So it's not in the agenda.
I forgot to put it on the agenda, but it's there. Okay, so I think, John, you had your hand up for, no, you didn't. Oh, okay, Jeff Robertson. Do we have a seconder? Larry Wood, thank you. All in favor? All opposed? Motion to pass. Okay, normally we would do the treasurer's report here, but since we already got one on the AGM, we will not be doing that particular item on the agenda tonight. So tonight we get to our guest speaker. Since this is a members' night, Mark was the only one to step forward and say he was ready to do a presentation. And on, I'm going to probably butcher this pronouncing, Nacreous Clouds. So Mark, if you're around, if you want to come up and get your presentation started. And Frank will get it running on your PowerPoint.
Thank you. Good evening. You're getting a break from Nacreous Clouds this time. Of course, it's the winter time. You can only see Nacreous Clouds or NLC in the summertime. So the only place you can see NLC now is in the southern hemisphere where it's summer. So we're going to have to wait a few months to see NLC here. But there is another interesting high altitude cloud, curiously enough, also beginning with the letter N, Nacreous Clouds. So, what layer of the atmosphere do Nacreous Clouds occur in? Nacreous Clouds occur at the top of the mesosphere, at the mesopause, at 80 kilometers, and incidentally, they're the coldest clouds of any part of the atmosphere. Whereas Nacreous Clouds occur between 15 and 25 kilometers elevation, so kind of the second coldest area of the atmosphere. The Nacreous Clouds are widely regarded as the most beautiful clouds in the sky because of their beautiful range of colors they have. Now, Nacreous Clouds occur at the pressure level of 30 hectopascals, and these maps are presented to us from our friends at the Climate Prediction Center. I got the URL at the end of the talk. So this map is for actually a couple of days ago, January 11th. And this shows the northern hemisphere. Now, the temperature range of Nacreous Clouds is typically 78 degrees, minus 78 and lower. So typically that kind of the dark purple color is the temperature range where you can start to see them. There's even a darker shade of purple that's not present on this map from minus 85 to minus 90. That's the temperature range where it's most likely that you're able to see them. So according to this map, which was a couple of days ago, the coldest temperatures are sitting over northern Scandinavia, Greenland, and just barely touching the eastern shores of Baffin Island. So in order to find out on a daily basis where Nacreous Clouds are going to be, you just call up this map and it'll give you a good idea of what parts of the world that you'd be able to see these clouds, which look something like this. Beautiful color range of clouds. This picture was taken by Ellen Tuff from Scotland. So yeah, iridescence is beautiful. So you're getting kind of the different shades of color in a rainbow with kind of some variations. So here we got some pinks some yellows, maybe a little bit of green. Fantastic clouds. This picture is taken by Jani Kukkola Rovaniemi from Finland. Again, some oranges, yellow, some green, some purple in there. Some nice wave patterns in these ones. A lot of bands in this one, obviously, yeah, pretty lavender kind of color. So you can see nacreous clouds when the sun is ideally around 4 degrees below the horizon, whereas noctilucent clouds are 6 to 16 degrees below the horizon. But you can see them like even right at sunset or sunrise as well, and even a little bit into the daylight hours. But to the ones we've seen so far, you could tell that it's pretty close to after the sun is set or the sun is risen. So that last one picture was taken by Carson Berger from Finland. Then we have a few pictures here from Ramuns Sepalaite from Norway. This is the first one. Again, the pinks and that kind of orange color are prevalent again. Same photographer. The gradation of colors is really cool here. It's not really the same order you see in a rainbow, but it's beautiful nonetheless. So you got starting from kind of purple to pink to yellow to green to blue. So that's obviously not the same as the rainbow, but it's still pretty cool. Same author again, I believe. Yes. And last picture from Ramon Sepalete. This one is with a full moon. So I guess even with the moon, just the light of the moon, you could still see the diffraction of the light from these clouds. So that's what you're seeing with the colors is the diffraction of sunlight by the ice crystals in the clouds. Now, I wonder why you can't see these kind of colors in noctilucent clouds. Maybe because they're much further away, or maybe because they're a lot thinner. I'm not exactly sure. Then you get instances like this where there's no color at all. This picture is from R.J. Cobain from Northern Ireland. This would be pretty spectacular to see in the deepening twilight. That's still a cloud that's illuminated, but just a pure white color. And this picture is from Veli Puskari from Finland. Kind of thin clouds, just little cloudlets. With this looks like the sun has just set very recently. Again, with the orange and pink being the prevalent colors. And finally, Bjorn Julius Grimson from Iceland took this picture, and it looks like, yeah, here you go. The sun is actually, it's right on the horizon, and it's already illuminating these clouds. Okay, let me see. We're gonna go back. Okay, so this picture is actually by Bjorn Julius Grimson from Iceland. With here you got a coincident aurora. I'm assuming that that's the moon off to the left. That's again illuminating the clouds like that previous one. But pretty wild to have an aurora in there actually sitting right behind the nacreous cloud display. Okay, we're going to go back. So that's from Bjorn Julius Grimson. This picture is from Vili Puskari. And this one's actually taken by Sandra Cooper Cooper Betters from Norway. So there's a webcam in northern Sweden, a location called Porhus, and you can check in on what's going on at 3 or 4 cameras on this webcam. And it's an opportunity at this time of year to see if any of the images show nacreous clouds. I believe that this little display is actually opposite where the sun is. So, and it looks like maybe the sun is still just barely above the horizon. So another instance of nacreous clouds not showing any color, but that are just pure white, but still having that definite kind of nebulous, gelatinous kind of appearance. And similarly, taken by the same camera, you can see a little bit of iridescence in those clouds. So not necessarily, you don't have to be looking in the direction of the sun. It looks like you can actually see them at any part of the sky. So I've been keeping track of these maps for about the last 5 years. And it's looking like, for whatever reason, the nacreous clouds displays are skewed geographically with a more favorable location kind of over Scandinavia. So we're kind of skewed in North America with wanting to see these things, but with the skewed, you add an R to it because we never seem to have the area over us. There have been rare instances where this low pressure system with the very cold temperatures has slowly moved over North America. This would be one such occasion. You can see the purple area just kind of impinging upon the Canadian Arctic. So sure enough, so that's March 2nd, 2022. Looking at the airport camera from Gajoa Haven from approximately the same date, there's a very peculiar glow off to the left there. It doesn't look like an actual cloud, but the color is kind of reminiscent of some of the colors you see with nacreous clouds. So there's a possibility that could have been nacreous cloud way off on the horizon, because the air mass in the stratosphere right at that time was cold enough for nacreous clouds to form. I've pointed out these cameras on several occasions for looking for nacreous clouds or anything. It's the network of airport cameras is extensive across all of Canada and into Alaska as well. So you just have to look up the website, and I got that listed at the end as well. Another instance would have been February. Thank you. Now, February 21st, 2022. Again, you can see the purple coloration is kind of over northern Canada. So again, the same kind of orangey glow showed up in an image. This picture is from Pond Inlet on the northern coast of Baffin Island at a latitude of about 72 degrees. So considering this picture was in February, only at that point do they start to see the sun peaking above the horizon. The interesting thing about this, with nacreous clouds, it's possible to see them for as long a period as about six hours continuously. Nacreous clouds, you'd figure, would be a smaller period because you're only looking at that little bit of period just after sunset or just before sunrise. But actually, around the Arctic Circle, from 67 and upward, there's a kind of a sweet spot whereby the sun is about to kind of reach the horizon, but doesn't, and then goes back down again. So that kind of encompasses that 4-degree solar depression angle for quite a long time, probably around 4 or 5 hours. So depending on what the site is, this would be a good example for that time of year around February. It'd be possible to see a display of nacreous clouds for like 4 hours continuously, depending on the latitude of the site. Now, the third instance goes back to 2020, March 15, which is getting pretty late in the winter season. And so after winter, then the you don't get the cold temperatures in the stratosphere anymore. So basically you don't see nacreous clouds anymore. In this case, as you can see, the purple coloration indicating the very cold part of the atmosphere has moved all the way over to kind of centered on like places like Tuktoyaktuk and Inuvik, and almost into Alaska. So from what I could tell over the last 5 years, this is the closest that the cold stratospheric air mass has gotten to us. So madly looking at some of these camera images, trying to find something. This is the best that I could find, and still it's kind of wishy-washy. This is the Northway camera in eastern Alaska, and you can see that there is kind of that pinkish orangey kind of hue just at the top of the twilight, but nothing obvious like in the previous pictures taken by some of these photographers in Europe. But considering that nacreous clouds are known as a high latitude phenomenon, at some point you're going to get those colder temperatures up in the Canadian Arctic, and it would be an excellent opportunity for anyone who wants to go see them to head up there for that period of time to see these clouds. Has anyone seen nacreous clouds here? I don't see any hands. So compared to noctilucent clouds, yeah, obviously a very rare phenomenon, unless you're in Scandinavia, I guess. Yeah, if I'll be keeping an eye on future prospects, and if anyone's interested in heading up to I don't know, Yukon or something to see these clouds, definitely a bucket list item. Just let me know, and maybe we can head out as an entourage or something. So to conclude the presentation, these are the references that I had been alluding to. First one are those maps that showed the purple low temperatures. That's the Climate Prediction Center maps. And followed by the Porhus webcam that had those pictures that looked like nacreous clouds still in broad daylight. So that's the website for that. And the ever popular North American airport cameras from our friends at the FAA that actually have all the Alaska ones and all of the lower 48, but they have all the Nav Canada ones piggybacked on it as well. And you just click on a little location and it shows what all 3 or 4 cameras that are present at that particular airport. Okay. Great. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
How the current very cold temperatures, is that necessarily, you spoke about how it occurs in very cold temperatures. Does that mean that there's cold temperatures on the surface as well? Or could that just be like -5, but still really cold up there?
In the stratosphere, yeah, that's the temperatures just in the stratosphere.
So what would temperatures be on the surface?
They could be warm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that particular part of the atmosphere. And I tried to look for a connection between these stratospheric lows and the so-called Arctic, what do they call it? The Arctic vortex when we get the really cold temperatures, which is a tropospheric phenomenon. And I haven't delved into it much, but you're looking at two completely different things. The vortex and then what we're seeing on these maps, because they're separated by quite a few kilometers in altitude. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
Hold on. You got people on.
Yeah. So do you know anything about the morphology of the crystals? Are they that give that diffraction of light?
I haven't read into it.
Oh, they're water drops.
What was that?
That temperature, they're water drops. Oh, sorry. They're going to be water drops at that temperature to give you the iridescence.
So actual droplets of water,
Yeah.
not ice.
No, they'd be essentially freezing drizzle.
Isn't that something? Wow, way up there, and it's water.
Yeah.
Okay, well that explains the iridescence then.
Yeah.
So
That's as far as I know it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in order to get any kind of iridescence anywhere, it's droplets of water then?
You need spherical to give you that
Okay.
type of color scattering.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, yes.
The clouds that we see on here that are, you see the reflection, the color in blue and green, mostly blue and red here from here.
Are these the colors you see around the moon, like
Well,
the corona, or?
yeah, it could be the reflection of the part of the structure around the sun of refraction light. You see clouds that are very colorful, quite colorful.
That must be, as Alistair mentioned, like the water droplets as well, then I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there are, we call them nacreous clouds here, but they're, I don't know that they're at that high. I think they're low level clouds, aren't they?
And you can see them any time of the year then? Or is, and how about, are they at after twilight? Or
No. They're during late afternoon usually.
Oh, during the day. Okay.
Yeah, you see, you've got color in them. And
So probably it's just the water droplets again, diffracting.
they're quite common. I mean, I'm sure people have seen the color in there. I've got pictures, photographs of,
Oh, okay.
and they're just blue and, certainly a colorful cloud. Not as colorful as these, but
Right. Interesting. So Larry, you've taken probably one of the most famous colorful cloud pictures that we've ever seen after the aftermath of the dust cloud from the Tagish Lake fireball in January of 2020. Yeah, the later, I don't know if you've ever seen that picture, but the fireball occurred, was in January. It was in early morning, but late as the day went on, the dust cloud went further south, and sure enough, we had a clear evening that same evening, and there's just a gorgeous display, something like these, but I recall it was the same color as the brightest part of a candle flame, and was just hovering right on the horizon. It was just a gorgeous display of clouds, and Larry took a picture of it from his apartment balcony. Just a fantastic picture. Yeah. All right.
Mark, we got a couple online questions too, if you want to take them.
Sure.
The first one is from Linda. Now I know what to look for. I've seen colors in the sky during winter sunsets. Are these those clouds? So I guess she just says she sees some of these colors during the winter, and she wants to know if these are the clouds that you're talking about.
Probably not in the stratosphere. They could be at various levels of the troposphere. So probably it's just some kind of weather clouds, I'm guessing.
All right, and we've got Andrew here with a question. Andrew, if you want to unmute and just ask your question, we should be able to hear it in the theater.
Question? Any other questions? Nope, we're not any more questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I got it. Okay, next up will be the observers group, and Alistair will be doing this presentation instead of Murray.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Well, out of coincidence, I was looking for something else and came across a note from last year, mid-January, saying it's been unbelievable how many wonderfully clear nights we've had this past month. And so this year is completely opposite. So sometimes it's just a matter of bad luck, like the beautiful afternoon that we've had. Well, by probably 11 p.m. it'll be totally overcast again here. So sometimes it's just a matter of bad luck. Okay. So Murray Hunt and I are here to invite all visual stargazers to join us for our monthly Zoom and in-person sessions. The key is for beginners to learn the sky and how to best operate their telescope. So please don't be shy that you know nothing. We've all started that way, knowing nothing. Just about. And we're here to help you pass the little puzzles and hurdles that face most beginners. You do not need to be a member to be in this observing group, and our in-town sessions help prepare you for the longer dark night ones, because among the things that we experience here when you come to one of these in-town sessions is, that bit of gear is with in another container, or I didn't realize it got that cold at night just standing around. So here's an example of standing around in the cold. Just a few days ago, there was a few of us out just on the north edge of the U of A farm. Please check out Mary Hunt's Stardust article. It encourages you to get outside this month. It's about Orion, and you can check off various items that are part of the Explore the Universe certificate. So after about a year of doing 5 to 10 minute astronomy once a month, boom, you should be qualified to earn a Explore the Universe certificate. So we encourage all of you to get out there and have a look. So here are just a few things to look at in the next 30 nights. One of them is T Corona Borealis, the blaze star. It has still refused to ignite. Let's see if I've got my thing. Yeah, so here's the Big Dipper up here in the morning. Just as it's starting to get light, the Dipper will be standing on its tail, arc to Arcturus, and then there's this nice capital Y shape, and it'll be just there. So hopefully anytime soon. You'll see it on news feeds when it does go off, but it's always nice to see if you can get it yourself. Now, Jupiter, it's been moving, of course, as Earth and Jupiter spin around the solar system. Jupiter appears to move against the background stars. So here's Castor and Pollux of Gemini. And as the Earth is madly spinning, coming up through here, you'll see Jupiter. And Where is it? It's just underneath here. At any rate, the eye, it's sort of a nice, not quite hockey stick shape. And in a matter of 1 week or so, it'll be almost a perfect right angled triangle with Castor and Pollux. In binoculars, you'll be able to see it move every night. You'll be able to see, oh yeah, it's in between these two stars, or not quite a straight line. It's actually quite fun, and it's something you can do without even putting on a jacket. Even when it's -5, you just step outside, have a look with binoculars, and bam, there it is. And then Uranus is also visible in binoculars, a little bit trickier, but find the Pleiades, always beautiful in binoculars. And you just essentially drop straight down relative to the Pleiades, and there'll be 3 stars here, Uranus being actually brighter than these two in Taurus. And it takes a few nights of moving before you see that, oh yeah, it's that kind of, again, hockey stick is just a little out of position to where it was a few nights before. So have a look at that. And then just a reminder, if you know of a high school student who'd like to borrow a telescope, I've got this thing sitting in the backyard all wrapped up under a tarp, waiting for someone to approach me and say, hey, I'd like to try out that telescope or even buy it. So thanks for your attention, and come on out to an observers group meeting if you're a new observer.
Thanks, Alistair. Okay, if we can get the agenda back up, that would be nice. Okay, next thing we'll have is our trivia before the break. Got a good one coming up for next month. So up there. Okay. What is the term used to describe matter when it's shredded by the gravitational forces of a black hole? So you got applesauce, spaghettified, or zoodled. So we will get an answer to that at the second half. So we'll have our break now, and right after the break, we'll do the money motions, which I forgot to do during the AGM. So we will get those up and running right after the break. So if you can get back in about 10 minutes, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, we'll get this meeting rolling again. So if you look up on the screen now, we'll have our money motions that we need to pass going into 2026. So we have a couple from the general account, but the majority are coming out of casino for their spending motion. And there are names attached to each one. So I will have these people come up and make their motion, and we'll go from there. So first up, we have on the general account, Susan Bram, who will be making a motion.
Okay, thanks, Clayton. The RASC Edmonton Centre needs to set aside funds from the general account, monies that will cover the upfront costs for our event, to reserve the campground area and pay for other event costs such as food and t-shirt sales. In 2025, these were covered by attendees through campsite registration fees, t-shirt sales, and event registration fees. Our estimate for 2026 is slightly higher at $6,805 than the 2025 actual cost of $6,727, because of our anticipation that the food costs may go up. So I therefore move that up to $6,805 from the general account be spent on expenses for the 2026 Northern Prairie Star Party.
Okay,
Need a seconder for that.
you make your motion?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
did. Yeah.
Do we have a seconder? Murray Paulson.
Thanks, Marie.
Okay, any questions for Susan? Seeing none, okay, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Actually, I'll get you to do your other ones too.
Oh, for sure.
Save you having to run up and down.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, so the next one is out of the casino account.
There are two motions for the casino account. The Northern Prairie Star Party usually features invited guests and speakers who may be from the Edmonton area or out of Edmonton or out of our province or even out of our country. Honoraria covered transportation, food, and accommodation expenses for them. For 2026, we estimated a cost of $3,700 for speakers. Our 2025 costs, by the way, were $1,800. We've sent out an invitation for a keynote speaker, haven't heard back, and that person will incur some traveling costs from British Columbia. But I therefore move that up to $3,700 from the casino account be committed for guest speakers at the 2026 Northern Prairie Star Party.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Kent Martin?
Thanks, Ken.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. You got one more, I believe.
I do. In addition, the Northern Prairie Star Party event has evolved to include the rental of a large event tent and other site-related expenses estimated to cost no more than about $4,500 in total. Our cost for this year was just over $3,000. I move that $4,150 from the casino account be spent on expenses for the 2026 Northern Prairie Star Party.
Okay, we have a seconder.
Thanks, David.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So what we'll do is we have Jeff Robertson has 1, 2, 3, I believe. So if he can come up and make a motion, that would be much appreciated.
This one? Okay.
You see him up there?
I hope so.
First one's that.
Right. Okay, so these are just general money motions to cover operating costs and stuff through the year. So the first is make a motion that up to $2,000 from the casino account be spent for public outreach materials, supplies, and such.
And looking for a second. Oh, Alan Hobbs.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the next one is for the Beaver Hills Dark Sky Preserve event, which is on the Labor Day Sunday, up to $2,500 from the casino account for guest speakers at the 2026 Beaver Hills Dark Sky Preserve celebration. Make a motion
Okay.
for that.
You made a motion. Oh. I caught Susan behind you. Susan beat you. Susan Brown seconded it. Okay, all in favor? All again, opposed? Motion carried.
All right.
One more, Jeff.
Last one is up to
Big fat one.
the fat one. Yeah, up to $2,000 from the casino account to be committed for operation, maintenance, and modernization of the RASC, just outside dues, for upkeep of general equipment. Sometimes we buy some photographs and just general stuff to help in the running of the RASC. So make a motion for that.
Okay, Alistair, do you want a second this one? Yep, he's eager beaver. Okay, so we have a seconder from Alistair Lang. All in favor? Opposed? You can't oppose it. Carried. Thank you. Okay. We have some BNLO motion from Luca to be made. So if you can come up and do that, that'd be much appreciated. Got that right.
The first one is the General Operations and Maintenance Fund for BNLO. So I move that we need to spend up to $48.85 from the casino account for BNLO operations and maintenance. That amount is a little bit lower than previous years because we did the tree trimming in 2025, and so no tree trimming this year. So that's the amount.
Okay, we have a seconder. Kent Martin, he was first up. Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
The next motion is basically carryover from a proposal from the last year, which was for the internet project, and so is a carryover. So we just want to make sure that we get approval to spend up to $2,800, which is the remaining funds of the originally approved proposal from the casino account to implement and operate internet connectivity at BNLO.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a seconder again? Susan Brown? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. That's funny, okay.
The last one is a new item. We pay for electricity at BNLO during the society period, which is from October to the end of April. During the camp season, the county picks up the tab, but we have to pay for power out there. And the arrangement we've had over the last few years involves administrative overheads and basically estimating the power usage as opposed to actually measuring it. And with the coming of the plane wave observatory, at some point, electrical usage is going to go up, and it'll be 7x24 for that particular observatory. And so we are thinking we need to add a electrical submeter right on site, not for billing purposes, but basically for measuring the amount of electrical draw for the entire facility during our period. So then we will be able to accurately pay the county each year. So it'll be a one-time hit, but it'll make everything easier and also more accurate go forward. So the motion is to spend up to $1,500 from the casino account to install an electrical submeter at BNLO.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Alan Hobbs? All in favor? Opposed? Being none, carried.
All right.
Okay, thank you, sir. Kent, can you come up quickly and do yours here? Then I'll do my final. I will do one for Chris. Chris Murdoch, are you online? No. Doesn't look like Chris is here, so I'll do his.
Okay, I move that up to $6,290 from the casino account to continue the implementation of the plane wave observatory at BNLO be approved. This is to carry on with some of the installations we have. We've just bought we're just buying a computer to get in some practice, learn how to use it, so we're not completely stupid when the time comes.
Okay. Do I have a seconder? Oh, I'll go with Dave Muscle this time. Thanks. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, I'll do Chris Merville. He has one here for I make a motion to spend up to $4,500 from the casino account to be spent on expenses for the Jasper Dark Sky Festival. Basically covers the astronomers from Edmonton who will go up there. So it covers their mileage, meals, and the like. So that's what that is used for. We've been roughly in that same ballpark every year for the past few years. So it has not gone up. So I'll make the motion and $4,500 from the casino account for expenses for JDSF. Do we have Marianne Hobbs? Will second that. All in favor? Opposed? carried. Okay, I think I've got 3 I have to do here. Okay. So I make a motion to spend up to $1,500 from the general account for miscellaneous expenses. So these are things that come up that we're not budgeted for that we do have to pay for. And so that covers off some of the areas. Sometimes we spend it, sometimes we don't. So I'll make that motion. Do we have a seconder? Alan Hobbs. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. From the casino account, up to $4,000 to be spent from the casino account for content insurance. That's basically insurance for the equipment we have out at BNLO, I believe, and in the locker, right? Okay. Do we have a seconder? Jeff Robertson. He was quick. Okay. We'll get you there. Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, last one here. Oh, I have to stay here. Up to $5,000 from the casino account to for rent of the storage facility, where we keep all our loader equipment, miscellaneous items in there that we're going to be doing an audit and inventory of, just sometime in the near future. So I'll make that motion. $5,000 from the casino account for rental storage for 2026. Mrs. Paulson. I finally got you seconded. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. I believe that was the last one. I got Crutch, Jeff. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Okay. The next, we have a few quick announcements to make before we get to book of the month. Okay, you click on that number 6 item. Okay, so we got a few announcements here. First one being some outreach opportunities. I believe there's 3 on the Logistics VicNets site right now. There's one coming up later this month for one of the schools in the West End, Michael Kostick School. And I think there's a couple more in the first quarter of the year here that's there. So please go on there if you're a volunteer on VicNet, take a look and see if you're available for those nights, and please put your name down. Second one, Scope Loaner Program. I mentioned it earlier when James McNeese has stepped down, and we thank James for all the hard work he's done over the last few years and keeping that program running, updating the telescopes, and making sure they go out and return on a timely fashion. So, James, thank you very much. We're looking for a new coordinator, so if anybody's interested, please drop me a line at president@edmontonrasc.com. Okay, same thing. We need a vice president sometime. We're just figuring out that if there's a hockey game and I'm not available, Jay's not available, no vice president available, then we have to look at the line of succession for the organization. And that would then fall either on the treasurer or the secretary, I believe. So we do need a vice president. So again, if anybody's interested in stepping up, if you need information about what the job entails, just drop me a line at president@edmontonrasc.com. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get to the book of the month and get Mark back up if he's still here. There he is.
Book of the month. The Stars, Definitive Visual Guide to the Cosmos. The stars as you've never seen them before. From glittering starburst nebulas to supermassive black holes and colliding galaxies, The Stars is an awe-inspiring and comprehensive guide to the most spectacular and fascinating objects in the universe. Packed with breathtaking new space images and constellations charted on specially created 3D illustrations. So this is a nice introductory book. It actually has a page or two dedicated to all 88 constellations, which is pretty cool. So this book will be available at the conclusion of the meeting. My co-librarian, Rosemary Ball, now has a few words to say.
Thanks, Mark. Just to say, the physical library is now organized and ready for browsing and loaning. The online catalog will be up very soon. There's going to be a new web page or page on the website devoted to the new library, how to use the online catalog. And hopefully that will also have some other information about other online resources. We have the book of the month for loaning each month, but we also have quite a number of duplicate books that we would like to offload and some discards that don't really meet our needs anymore. But we're trying to fundraise for the library. Books are expensive, and so we're going to take some of them and see if we can offer them for sale. And the ones, some of the ones that are on the side here that are giveaways, Mark has very kindly made a donation box. If you could just drop some money in there, if you're going to take a book, that would be very kind. The more money that we can take in, the more current books we can get. So I hope people start using that library now, and there's some good stuff in there. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, now on to Astro Imaging Corner, and Tom Owen, we will turn the podium over to you.
Okay. Are we able to see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well then, welcome to Astro Imaging Corner number 152. And without further ado, let's get on with the shoot. So the first image is an image by Dan Kulak, Nacreous Clouds. This image was taken with a Nikon Coolpix P1100 point and shoot camera. It says it has a sensor size of 6.2 millimeters by 4.6 millimeters and 16.79 million pixels. It's got a single built-in lens with 125 times optical zoom, which can make the focal length range from 4.3 to 539 millimeters. In other words, f2.8 to f8. And this was taken in his Edmonton neighborhood in his front street at 12:07 a.m. June 30th of last year. And it was the focal length was at 4.3 millimeters. It was a 1/15th of a second shot at f2.8 and ISO 1600, a handheld and no tripod. So that's a beautiful shot, Dan. This is also Nacreous Clouds. This is the close-up. Again, it was taken with the Nikon Coolpix. I don't have to give you the specs about it. The focal length for this shot was 83.9 millimeters and 1/15th of a second at f5 with an ISO of 1600. Handheld, and the vibration reduction was on, as was in the previous shot. This is the third submission from Dan. Same kind of camera information. He says the object is obviously is the sun with multiple sunspots and sunspot groups. It was taken at Elk Island National Park, at the Dark Sky Preserve Hill north of Astoughton Beach. It was taken August 25th at 8:24 p.m. It says this was an unfiltered exposure. All attenuation is by the atmosphere and smoke aloft. And he says, since the camera has an electronic viewfinder, it's eye safe for framing the sunset, but to avoid sensor damage, you should see the owner's manual for official information. And focal, no doubt, good advice. Focal length was 467 millimeters, and it was taken at 1/2500 second, 1/2500 second exposure at f8 and ISO of 100. And again, the vibration reduction was on. He says, notice that the solar disk, which is 31.7 arc minutes across, being on the horizon appears slightly vertically compressed and easily fits the field of view. So I was impressed with these photos from Dan. And when he said it was a Nikon Coolpix, what came to my mind was a kind of a cute little silvery handheld, like deck of cards size camera that Nikon debuted probably in the 90s. And I was thinking, he took these with a Nikon Coolpix? So I decided to go onto the interweb and find out what it actually looked like. Look at that bad boy. That's impressive. But so I thought I would show you exactly what he's using there. And like I say, that is a major camera. Okay. This is a contribution from Rick Bram, the Southern Cross and the Coal Sack. And he says, hello, Tom. I was fortunate enough to travel to New Zealand in November. For me, it was an opportunity of a lifetime to see the southern part of the celestial sphere. It was a thrill to see the Southern Cross, the Magellanic Clouds, and Orion upside down. So he says, here are my imaging details. The Southern Cross, which is in Crux, and the neighboring Coal Sack Nebula. It was 16 subs. And he used a lightweight tripod and Manfrotto ball head to support his camera. And his camera was a Canon R5 with an EF 135 millimeter f2 LUSM lens. The camera settings, he shot it in RAW. This is a 4-second exposure with an ISO of 12,800. It was processed on a Mac using Starry Sky Stacker and then Adobe Photoshop. So that's a great shot, Rick. This is from Alan Hobbs, and this is NGC 104, also referred to as 47 Tuscany, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he says that NGC 104 is a globular cluster located in the constellation Tuscana. It's about 14,500 plus or minus 32.6 light years from Earth and 120 light years in diameter. It can be seen with the naked eye with an apparent magnitude of 4.1. And it appears at about 44 arc minutes across, including its far outreaches. And he says on November 16th at Kaikoura, New Zealand, he took this with his Seastar S50 in equatorial mode using a Skywatcher wedge on the Seastar tripod. He says, I centered the Seastar on 47 Tucane with 19 stacked subs of 20-second exposures for a total of 6 minutes and 30 seconds exposure time. I processed this astrophoto in PixInsight and Photoshop from the stacked fits file. It's a very wild looking glob, and I like them that way. So this is from Rick again, and this is the Large Magellanic Cloud, which kind of looks like the Eye of Sauron. He took this with the 28 subs, and again, he was using the same rig that he used to take the previous shot of the Coal Sack Nebula and the Southern Cross. And that's a great, great shot, Rick. And this is the Tarantula Nebula from Alan. He says the Tarantula Nebula is the largest and brightest star-forming region in the local group of galaxies located in the Large Magellanic Cloud, about 160,000 light years away. It's nicknamed for its spider-like filaments and is home to massive hot stars, serving as a prime laboratory for understanding stellar creation. This energetic nebula's immense size, nearly 1,000 light years across, and extreme luminosity make it a crucial target for telescopes like Hubble and Webb, revealing intricate details of star birth. And he took this on November 15th, again in Kaikoura, New Zealand, with his C-Star S50 in equatorial mode, using a Skywatcher wedge on the C-Star tripod. He says, I centered the C-Star on the Tarantula Nebula with 120 stacked subs of 20-second exposures for a total of 40 minutes exposure time. He processed this astrophoto in PixInsight and Photoshop from the stacked FITS file. And this is again another wild nebula, which is really what I love. It's just great. Thank you. So now we go to Craig Sherriss, M106. And I believe that the edge-on spiral, the lower part of the picture, I just looked it up. It's NGC 4248. So he used a Stellar View SVX 130T refractor, a Paramount mount, and a Player One Poseidon Pro camera. And he says M106 or Messier 106, NGC 4258, is an intermediate spiral galaxy located in the constellation Canis Venatici, about 22 to 25 million light years from the Earth. With a diameter of roughly 135,000 light years, it's one of the largest and nearest spiral galaxies visible to us, and shines with an apparent magnitude around 8.4 to 9.1. So, ladies and gentlemen, the exposure time on this was 31 hours and 40 minutes. Now, I've seen a lot of photos of M106. I've taken one or two myself. I can't remember a photo of M106 that's any better than this one. And so I just say, well done, Craig. So this is Craig Sherriss's fireworks galaxy. He says it's formally known as NGC 6946. And it's a striking face-on intermediate spiral galaxy located about 22 to 25 million light years from Earth, straddling the constellations Cepheus and Cygnus. And on this one, he cheaped out and he only took an exposure of 25 hours and 11 minutes. So tremendous work, Craig, tremendous work, all of the contributors today for this edition. I don't have to tell anybody that it's been cloudy, to say the least, and so the contributions have been down, but I'm sure that the weather forecast is looking pretty good actually for later this week. Hope it holds, and I hope that the rest of the month gives us clear skies. As usual, if you're a member, please send your images to Astro Imaging Corner at edmontonrasc.com. And I look forward to receiving a plethora of images for the next meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. And thank you to all the contributors. There's some fantastic looking images there. Okay, so we have the trivia answer. Okay, so what is the term used to describe matter when it is shredded by the gravitational forces of a black hole? Spaghettified. I think the other one was applesauce and some other weird one. But if you read every so often a lucky star wanders into the maw of a black hole where just like everything else, it gets spaghettified, stretched and shredded by immense gravitational forces. I'm going to have a real good one for you next month, so you'll have to have your thinking caps on for that. Okay, get to the final announcements. We'll look at the cartoon of the month. You know, Bob, you can just say Happy National Astronomy Day. You don't need to add to those who observe. Okay. Wasn't one of the better ones, but I thought it was pretty good. Okay, final announcement. Again, the next meeting will be on Monday, February 9th at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So without, again, I want to wish everybody a happy new year and hope we have a very good year for imaging and that none of our major events get weathered out. So again, thanks again, and we'll see you next month.
Clayton, just one more thing to note. February 6th, again, the launch of Artemis 2. We're going to be doing an event here at the Science Center, a viewing kind of session in both in the IMAX and the Zeidler Dome. If anybody is interested, in the IMAX, we'll also be running Apollo 11 before the actual live stream from NASA to watch that. And then also up here, we're going to be running our show Forward to the Moon with, again, a live stream and question and answers and things like that. I've asked Clayton today if we can actually have the RASC here that night from having a table set up in our lobby from 5 until maybe 9 o'clock or so. If the launch does continue to go ahead for that date, he said he's going to hopefully have some individuals here for that. So again, a special date coming up here. I do have a few stickers here of the mission if anybody wants one of Jeremy Hansen's flight to the moon. So yeah, looking forward to that, and come join us if you have an interest. We'll have some information on our website because we will have films in both theaters. We will be charging a little nominal fee for watching the film and then watching the live webcast. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, that should be a very interesting event. And of course, NASA's always prompt when they have their launch schedule. So you can almost guarantee it won't happen February 6th. But we can keep our fingers crossed. Okay, thank you very much. Good night. We'll see you next month.